much. Last week, we read chapter 40 of SataRudrasamhita of volume 3 of Shivpuran. In this, we read about the description how demon Muka was killed in context of Shiva incarnation as Kirta. As directed by Lord Krishna and sage Vyasa, Arjuna started his penance on mountains Indrakila to appease Lord Shiva. He performed such excellent penance that the splendor of his penance surprised gods, who went to Lord Shiva to request him to grant Arjuna his desires. Lord Shiva reassured the gods, who then went back to their abodes. In the meantime, Duryodhana instigated demon Muka against Arjuna. The demon assumed the form of a boar who began digging peaks of mountains and trees in plenty. On seeing it, Arjuna remembered Lord Shiva and thought of what he should do. After careful consideration, Arjuna decided to kill the boar as it was causing misery. Seeing his devotion, Lord Shiva assumed the form of chief hunter and came there with his ganas, also as a hunter, to protect Arjuna and to test his devotion. Shiva started various sounds which spread over the whole forest. Arjuna could also hear the boar grunts, which agitated the whole forest. Hearing this, Arjuna thought that Lord Shiva had come to help him. While he was wondering about all this, the boar came within the range of his arrow discharge. Lord Shiva also came there to protect Arjuna. The boar was in between Arjuna and Shiva. Both Shiva and Arjuna discharged their arrows. The demon fell dead on the ground. In seeing this real form, Arjuna was extremely happy and thanked Shiva and eulogized him again and again. Today we'll read chapter 40, the Kirta Arjuna dialogue, and chapter 41, the incarnation of Lord Shiva as Kirta. Today's reading will only be in English, and Shweta auntie will be doing that. Bahut bahut shukran.
Jai Guruji, Shukrana Guruji for the seva. We're going to be reading chapter 40 and 41. The Kirta Arjuna dialogue. Nandishvara said, O omniscient Sanat Kumara, listen to the sport of the great soul Shiva, full of affection for the devotee and to the test of his stability. Shiva immediately sent his attendant to fetch the arrow. The Arjuna too came there. The Gana and Arjuna reached the place simultaneously for the arrow. Arjuna rebuked him and took up his arrow. The Gana said, O excellent sage, why do you take this arrow? The arrow is mine, leave it off. O excellent sage, thus addressed by the Gana of the Bila, Arjuna remembered Shiva and spoke. Arjuna said, O forest roamer, what do you say without understanding? You are a fool. This arrow had been discharged by me just now. How can it be yours? It is engraved with my name in many lines. The feathers are mine. How does it become yours? You insist according to your wild nature. Nandishvara said. On hearing his words, the leader of the Ganas laughed and spoke to Arjuna, who was in the garb of a sage. O sage, listen. You are a sage in disguise. You are not a true sage. You do not perform penance. People are deceived by you. How can a saint utter a lie? Do not take me to be single-handed. Know me to be the commander-in-chief. My master is sitting there with many hunters. In every respect, he is capable of destroying or blessing you. It is his arrow that had been taken by you now. This arrow will never remain with you. O sage, why do you wish to lose the fruit of your penance? Truly have I heard the penance is marred and wasted by theft, pride afflicted by deceit, and the breaking of promise. Hence, O sage, whence will you derive the fruit of penance? If you do not give up this arrow, you will be an ungrateful fellow. It was certainly to save you that my master discharged this arrow. Your enemy has been killed by him, and you have kept the arrow to yourself. Very ungrateful indeed are you. You are making your own penance fruitless. You do not speak the truth. What do you wish to gain thereby? If you have any need for the arrow, you may approach my master and request him. He can give you many similar arrows. My master is here. Why don't you request him? Unmindful of his help to you, you wish him harm. This does not behove you. Eschew his fickleness. On hearing his words, Arjuna, son of Pratha, was angry. After remembering Shiva, he spoke these measured words. Arjuna said, O hunter, listen, I shall explain. Your words are not true. O forest wanderer, I know you. You are true to the caste in which you are born. I am a king, you are a thief. How can a war be pursued? I must fight with people equal in strength to me, never with base people. Your master will be only like you. We are the benevolent donors, and you are the forest dweller thieves. How can the king of forester be requested by me now? O forest wanderer, why don't you beg the arrow of me? I shall readily give you the arrows. Certainly I have many. If a king does not give what is taken, your objection may come up. Then, O forester, how can I simply give away the arrow if what I am desirous of doing is not being understood? Why should there be a long talk? Let your master come and fight with me, defeating me in the battle. Let him take the arrow and return to his abode. Why should there be any delay? Nandishvara said, on hearing these words of Arjuna, who derived his strength from the mercy of Lord Shiva, the forester spoke these words. The forester said, You are ignorant, you are not a sage. Why do you invite death? Give up the arrow and stay here happily, or you will come to grief. Nandishvara said, thus challenged by the forester who derived his strength from Shiva and who was Gana, Arjuna, son of Pandu, remembered Shiva and said, Arjuna said, O forester, listen attentively to my words. If your master comes here, I shall show my strength. It does not behove me to fight with you. I shall fight with your master. The fight between a lion and a jackal is very ridiculous. You have heard my words. You shall see my strength now. O Bhila, return to your master. Do as you please. Nandishvara said, O sage, thus addressed by Arjuna, the Bhila returned to the place where General Kirta, the incarnation of Shiva, stood. He mentioned Arjuna's talk in detail to Lord Shiva, the great soul in the form of Bhila. On hearing his words, Lord Kirta was much delighted. It was Shiva dressed as Bhila who had come there with his army. On seeing Kirta with his army, Arjuna, son of Pandu, took up his bow and arrows and faced him. Then Kirta sent the messenger again and through him delivered the message to Arjuna, the great soul. Kirta said, O sage, see this army coming, give up the arrow and go away. Why do you seek death for a trifle? Your brothers are in distress, your wife is grief-stricken. I think your kingdom will slip off your hands, I'm sure. Nandishvara said, it was just to test the firmness of Arjuna that the great Lord said this. The great Lord Shiva, who had assumed the form to protect Arjuna by all means. What the Lord said, the Gana of Shiva mentioned that to Arjuna in detail after approaching him. On hearing that, Arjuna replied to the messenger, You shall tell your general that the reverse of what he says will happen to him. If I were to give up the arrow that belongs to me, I shall be the cause of ignominy to my family. Well, may my brothers be distressed. Let all my knowledge be fruitless, so come on to fight with me. No lion is ever frightened of a jackal. A king is never afraid of a forester. Thus replied by Arjuna, the Bhila returned to his master and conveyed all that Arjuna had said. Lord Shiva, a Kirta, heard the message and approached Arjuna along with his army. Chapter 41, the incarnation of Lord Shiva as Kirta. Nandishvara said, on seeing him come, Arjuna meditated on Lord Shiva and fought with him a terrible battle. He was severely afflicted by the Ganas with many sharp weapons. Thus tortured by them, Arjuna remembered Lord Shiva. Arjuna split the arrows discharged by Kirta and his Ganas. Then he thought upon Shiva. When distressed by him, the Ganas fled to the quarters. Then Shiva summoned the chief Ganas, but they did not respond to his call. Shiva and Arjuna, of great strength and exploit, fought each other with various weapons of war. Taking pity on him, Shiva approached Arjuna, but Arjuna hit him heavily. Shiva split the weapons of Arjuna as well as his armor. Arjuna stood in his bare body. Although afflicted by fear, Arjuna remembered Shiva and fought a duel with a general spiritedly. The earth along with the oceans shook due to their fight. What will happen now? Thinking thus, the gods were distressed. In the meantime, Lord Shiva stood in midair and fought. Arjuna too did likewise. Flying at each other, Lord Shiva and the earthly king Arjuna fought with each other. On seeing that wonderful battle, the gods were surprised. Then Arjuna came to the ground, remembered the lotus like feet of Shiva, and caught hold of his feet, deriving sufficient strength thanks to his meditation on Shiva. Catching hold of his feet, Arjuna whirled him. Lord Shiva, favorably disposed towards his disciples, laughed indulgently in divine sports. O sage, it was surely done by Shiva himself, who is subservient to his devotees. It could not be otherwise, as this was just to grant his devotion. Then Shiva smiled and revealed his wonderful auspicious form, as he always well disposed to his devotees. On seeing that beautiful form, the form of excellence supreme, being as mentioned in the Vedas, Shastras and Puranas, the form which Vyasa had advised him to meditate upon, the form which bestows all siddhis, the form of Shiva, Arjuna was abashed and surprised much. Ha! This is Shiva who has been chosen by me as my Lord, the Lord of three worlds himself. Oh, what a thing have I committed now! Powerful indeed is the Maya of the Lord. It deludes even the wielders of Maya. Why have I been deceived by the Lord who concealed his own form? After thinking thus within himself, he joined his palms in reverence, and bending his head, he bowed to the Lord with pleasure. Then he spoke in a delighted manner. Arjuna said, O great Lord, O Lord of gods, O Shiva the merciful, O Lord of all, my fault shall be forgiven by you. What have you done? By concealing your own form, you have deceived me now. Fie on me who fought with you, my master, O Lord. Nandishvara said, Thus Arjuna, son of Pandu, repented. He fell at the feet of Lord Shiva. Cheering up in various ways, the delighted Lord Shiva, favorably disposed to his devotees, replied to Arjuna. Shiva said, O Arjuna, do not worry yourself. You are a great devotee of mine. I have done this just to test you. Give up your sorrow. Nandishvara said, after saying this and lifting Arjuna with his own hands, the Lord rid him of his bashfulness through his own lordly qualities. Delighting Arjuna, son of Pandu, honored by heroes, Shiva, favorably disposed towards his devotees, spoke to him with pleasure. Shiva said, O Arjuna, foremost among the sons of Pandu, I am delighted. Choose your boon. By your hits and blows, I have been worshipped by you. I consider it so. This has been done by my own will. The fault is not yours. There is nothing which cannot be given to you. Choose whatever you desire. In order to establish the rule of your fame among your enemies, what have you done is auspicious. You shall not be struck with grief. Eschew all your feebleness. Nandishvara said, thus addressed by Lord Shiva, Arjuna stood carefully and spoke to Shiva with devotion. Arjuna said, O good Lord, O Sadashiv, is your desire, is your compassion to be described by me. You are the favorite of your devotees. You are Shiva, the bestower of welfare. After saying this, the son of Pandu eulogized Shiva, the great Lord, devotedly in the manner approved of by the Vedas. Obeisance to you, the Lord of gods. Obeisance to you, the resident of Kailasha. O Sadashiva, obeisance to you. Obeisance to you, the five-faced one. Obeisance to Kapardin, one with matted hair. Obeisance to you, the three-eyed. Obeisance to the delighted one. Obeisance to the thousand-faced. O blue-necked one, obeisance to you. Obeisance to Sayojata, O bull-bannered one, obeisance to you with Parvati as your left half. O 10-armored one, obeisance to you, the great soul. Obeisance to you, holding the drum and the skull in your hands. Obeisance to you, the one wearing a garland of skulls. Obeisance to you, with the body refulgent like pure crystal and pure camphor. Obeisance to you, with the pinaka in your hand. Obeisance to the bearer of the excellent trident. Obeisance to the one with the tiger hide as the upper cloth. Obeisance to the wearer of elephant's hide. Obeisance to you with your body encircled by serpents. Obeisance to you, the supporter of Ganga. Obeisance to you of splendid reddish feet, worthy to be served by Nandin and other Ganas. Obeisance to you, the chief of Ganas. Obeisance to you, Obeisance to one in the form of Ganesha, followed by Kartikya. Obeisance to the bestower of devotion and salvation of the devotees. Obeisance to you, devoid of attributes. Obeisance to you, possessed of attributes. Obeisance to one with and without forms, having digits and devoid of digits. Obeisance to the one who blessed me in the form of Kirata. Obeisance to the one who is fond of fighting with heroes. Obeisance to the one performing various sports. Whatever splendid form is seen, its splendor is yours. You are in the form of pure consciousness. You sport about in three worlds in different guises. There is no limit to your excellences as that of the dust particles, or stars in the sky, or raindrops. Even the Vedas cannot enumerate your good qualities. O Lord, how can I, deficient in intellect, describe any? Whatever be your nature, obeisance be to you. It behoves you to take pity. O Lord, I am your slave. O Lord Shiva, you are my master. Nandishvara said, on hearing his words, Lord Shiva, who was highly delighted, spoke to Arjuna delightedly. Shiva said, of what avail is a long talk? Listen to my words. O son, choose your boon quickly. I shall give you everything. Nandishvara said, thus urged by him, Arjuna bowed to Sadashiv, with palms joined in reverence, and with head bending down, he spoke with words choked with devotion. Arjuna said, what shall I say? You are the immanent soul of all. Still, let my detailed explanation be heard by you. O Lord, whatever danger I had from enemies has vanished at your sight. Please do that which may confer worldly siddhis on me. Nandishvara said, after saying this and bowing to Shiva, who is favorably disposed to his devotees, Arjuna stood by with shoulder drooping down and palms joined in reverence. Seeing Arjuna, son of Pandu, the foremost of his devotees, Lord Shiva was extremely glad and satisfied. Lord Shiva gave him Pashupata missile that could not be thwarted by anyone at any time and spoke thus. Shiva said, I have given you my own great missile. You will become invincible thereby. You will reap success over your enemies through this. I shall tell Krishna also. He will help you. He is my own soul and my devotee, and he carries out my task. O Bharata, due to my power, you will rule over your kingdom unhindered. You shall perform righteous deeds of various kinds, although along with your brother. Nandishvara said, after saying this and placing his hand over his head, Shiva vanished after being duly worshipped by Arjuna. The delighted Arjuna, after obtaining the excellent missile from the Lord, returned to his hermitage, remembering devotedly his chief preceptor and Shiva. When he arrived, his brother felt fully revived. As the body was with vital airs, they felt happy at his sight. Draupadi of good rights was also delighted. The delighted Pandavas were not satiated by hearing the details from Arjuna and knowing that Shiva was satisfied. There was a shower of flowers and the sandal paste in the hermitage for honoring Arjuna, the enemy of the boar and the Pandavas. By bowing to Shiva joyously and realizing that the time limit had arrived, they knew the success was at hand. In the meantime, on hearing that Arjuna had returned, Krishna came there to see him. He was very happy. Therefore, I say that Shiva is the dispeller of all miseries. He is always served by me. Let him be served by you. Thus the incarnation of Shiva as Kirata has been explained to you. He who hears and narrates this obtains all desire. This concludes the reading for tonight. Jai Guruji, Shukrana.